What is up? What do we call people who watch this, actually?
I
No,
always say besties.
oh, besties. What's up, besties? We're here, hashtag NAST Nation. Uh, I'm gonna, that is an awful way to start. I'm never doing that one again, but
Oh,
you know who also did have a great start? Snowball. Goodbye, as he got sniped off by the Juno Slime.
great job, Julak. I didn't think the knockback would be quite that much, but Julak really just took over this point with that kill. Took the first goal for Koyo very, very quickly, and that's like good news for them. It's kind of a big turnaround from week one.
Yeah, absolutely. And I believe that is an absolutely wonderful welcome to Season 6 Snowball. I believe this is his debut game here in Season 6 specifically. He is a veteran player, has been around here for ages. Back when West Coast, being West Coast meant something, you know?
He was at the LAN with me. He meant something. He meant something. Our team needs things, Brickbat.
That's true. Dang, wow. We're not even like Westies.
Oh, Syrupy, that was really, really nice. Baited out the roll from Beelzebub, tossed it off the corner into his own turret. Evens up the game here, and you know, great job. But the energy economy is a little worrying me here. Look at Koyo's energy, and now look at Eboy's energy.
Oh man, yeah, that's not what you want to see. Snowball as well, no energy to play defensively, but we said both flips come out. One for damage, one for the barrier. There's Daru and Julak going to be on the hunt for the goal or the kill, whichever they see fit. Serapi looking to buy a little bit of time for Snowball to maybe recover, who, by the way, is playing the Estelle Brawler, which is actually something that we've seen in the North American Strikers League, the Joker actually picking it out, and it's something that I think a lot of top players have been really talking about. Some interesting things are happening. IDC not getting the strike in time, unfortunately. Unfortunately, she's just barely missed out on the strike that she wanted. But going back to the picks, this Estelle pick is a little interesting. Essentially, you're playing a bit more forward. You know, you're hanging a little bit from range, a little bit less than you would from midfield. But instead of using your abilities to move the core forward, you're just using it on the goal, and that allows you to play away from melee goalies so that you don't have to deal with their melee abilities. And so there's a lot more to this pick that, to be completely frank, it's very new. I'm not entirely certain what this pick is, what the strengths are, but it has been seeing a bit of play, especially at the highest levels. So I'm very curious to see how it's going to perform. That being said, Snowball has been bullied most of this game.
What you're looking for, I think, is Dad. Julak keeps murdering him, and look, he has no health again. Oh no, he's being pushed around, and both barriers are down for Eboy as well, but Beelzebub goes up too far, and suddenly Syrupy wins one strike war, puts it in, and that's even.
Hey, you know, sometimes you don't need to KO him if you just win the strike war. Yeah, that's just Omega Strikers distilled. All this stinger stuff that people are talking about, recently buffed by the way, is just dressing, you know?
Yeah. You just score. Who cares about hitting the other person?
True. It's a goal count, not a KO count that's up there at the top of the UI. It's right now, no one's going to be close to scoring just quite yet. In fact, Daru's going to be marching towards that, just trying to get the flip away from Syrupy right now. And
oh boy.
Syrupy finds himself staggered right now. The flip comes through from Daru, going to be blocked away though by Snowball. Unfortunately, no flip here for Syrupy either. Now going to be extremely vulnerable, but Snowball on the flip side finds the piercing shot against Beelzebub. Wants to score very soon though before this flip comes through, and Syrupy looking to give Snowball that opportunity. The flip comes through. IDC not in the right place to get it. Snowball though with the flip. IDC with the flip as well. The slime though deflects the clear, and now it's going to be a little bit scary here for the Eboy Entourage as Oni's blade comes through. Snowball going to be taking out. Daru has a lot of shots to play with. A good pendulum swing though, and some good aggressive positioning from IDC though. Keeps the core alive, but Daru right place at the right time, gets it off the wall bounce, sends it right into the net, and the Eboy Entourage find themselves disadvantaged here, losing the first set. COYO gonna find themselves advantaged.
Yeah, we were talking about that Estelle quite a bit, and right now it looks more like the person who was bullying the Estelle is getting first pick, and Estelle is in dead last.
Oh,
Interesting waiting for that heavy impact, I guess, wanting to feed Super Search. Takes aerials instead. This Rasmus is massive with Might of the Colossus. He has pauldrons and built different before that. I'm a little bit scared of the ability of Koyo to push through this Rasmus later on. But the Super Surge and aerials, I mean, that's a lot of mobility to what? To work with? What? Sorry,
that guy died! He's dead!
that guy did die. That's messed up.
Return to spawn, create a new character sheet, you're done. you gotta go. And on the flip side there, Dario immediately comes back. The lethality of this game with this Super Surge, right? With this Super Surge, with this heavy impacts, with this Might of the Colossus has suddenly just been turbocharged. And it feels like, yes, Striker's going to be flying off the map more than the core immediately snowball as well, right?
Gosh.
Following it up with a piercing shot, sending Julak off the map. And even though Julak did find himself taken off, that's actually what you want to be. A Juno is kind of the perfect character, right? With that invulnerability, with one of the highest, if no, the highest, I believe, base stagger of any midfielder in the game. You are very well equipped to survive these situations, but even then, the damage might be a little bit too much.
Really desynced offense there for Eboy, but they still kept their barrier up until I started talking. And they did manage to get the kill here though, and a really good glitch pop from Syrupy gets control of the core back to Snowball, puts it in the top. Really good defense there by Julak and Beelzebub to hold on to it. But now with Syrupy blinking red, it's a little bit tough. Snowball though follows up the strike with the, oh my god, I don't know Estelle's ult's name.
Crystallized Thorns.
Crystallized Thorns.
Yeah.
And just puts it right in, and that's what Estelle can do to a Dooku. You can just hit it 2 times really, really fast without being anywhere near.
And that's, I think, the power of the Estelle forward in this matchup. Able to prevent, just say, hey, that Summer Assault, you're not ever going to hit me with that. Hey, that log, I could deal with that from afar. What are you going to do about it? You know, your hit stun means nothing. And not only that, right? Even if you get it cleared, I'm still double midfield and Snowball. It's Serapi making such a good offensive combo right now, though. Daru actually preserves his flip, gets it with that Super Surge enhanced dash. A quick first point here for the side of Koyo.
That was really, really close. IDC hit the hook right onto Daru, and if he hadn't followed up the dash with a strike, I think IDC would have actually saved that. But there's no saving Snowball, apparently. Dead again. Again, I'm not really... I could not...
Oh, Beelzebub!
Oh, no, Beelzebub. There's a lot of things happening in this point, but what's happened in the end is 2 barriers still up for Eboy and none for the side of Koyo.
Yeah. Ooh! Wow!
Glitch pop! Just putting it right past Beelzebub, not expecting that angle. Stealthed, easy.
Yeah. Hey, oh, what is that map variation called? I know in beta it was called Side Street, but it's
something.
No, that's the one with a goo. I think it's Project Xeno. Project Xeno, I think it is.
That's probably right.
Yeah, because it's the car Xeno cloak.
Yeah.
Yeah. Regardless, though, as of right now, it's gonna be Koyo on the defense, and when this defense, I'm sorry, July getting comboed by the terrain here. When they are on the defense, though, Koyo is looking a little shaky. Especially here against Serapi and Snowball. Again, who find themselves having an open net from the enemy team. IDC almost loses the barrier, but the pull comes through in time. Toku Fortress there, preventing any sort of offensive ideas. Dario able to find one, but unfortunately this Rasmus with 165 power is going to be a little lethal to deal with, especially with a low HP Daru. Now another KO found. Jula, or Beelzebub, I'm sorry, not able to predict what the shot was going to do. Serapi sends it in, and the Eboy Entourage here answer back in set number 2.
What a smooth pass there from Snowball to secure that goal. And look, the ins have flipped. We had Julak first last time, and now we have Snowball. And Reptile Remedy is sort of staring me in the face here as health Bulk up
Yeah.
is there too. Reptile Remedy ends up getting picked up by Daru. The Deadeye going over to Syrupy just means that these kills could be a lot faster, and the hotshot is denied from Juno. Not letting that drop all the way down, and Rasmus is totally willing to take it as, you know, sort of a pseudo team player, right? That's how it works.
It can actually be, right, with those pendulum swings, sending things at Mach 8. I mean, look at that, right? Yeah, and on top of that, right?
So much power.
Yeah, exactly. It's actually really hard to do with. I think the pseudo team player prediction that you're saying. Wow, good strike there. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Dang, he just pendulum swing 3 times. IDC pendulum swing 3 times, and just kind of what?
He was standing at midfield there, and he reached like halfway into the zone of COYO, and he was just look. It's so fast off of all this power plus hotshot. I never really thought about doing something like this, but it seems so difficult to deal with. Eventually, COYO does get this barrier, and the blobs manage to get the second. It took them quite a while, but that's what they've gotten the health bars down, and if they can get these kills onto Snowball, onto Syrupy, they might be able to make something happen here, but Snowball's running across. It doesn't matter though, Julak puts the core in right through IDC, and it's 1-1.
Yeah, bit of an interesting start. Yeah, with both forwards just immediately staggered. I think clumped a little bit too much for the Zentaro and Juno damage to stack up. It really did seem a little scary, and now it's still looking very scary. The Tofu Fortress is there, but the offensive play is not done yet. Flip comes through from Beelzebub. IDC, a good pendulum swing there. So now we're going back into the neutral state of it. This damage is still very much a threat in this game, and if either team really doesn't respect the damage potential of the others, they could find themselves just taken out.
Yeah, I think what we really need to see is good evades coming out. I think that's what's been missing most of this game, but when you're Snowball here, I don't even think he has the energy to evade right now. Great defense there by IDC, winning the 1v1, keeping the barrier up. Hits the dribble. Snowball cannot quite get the timing on that piercing shot. The turret here is great. IDC is all the way up, letting Snowball run back. Syrupy with a great cyber swipe manages to jump forward. Snowball can't quite get the goal. Ends up dead for his efforts. Syrupy here with no energy left, but they still have one barrier, and they've managed to hold it almost long enough. Daru with a great shot, a great pass from Julak manages to get it there, but this is a really chaotic moment on this map, the most chaotic of the Clarion variations. The red core again coming out, not enough, and they're just going back and forth. Daru with a good ultimate there. The Tofu Fortress comes out from Beelzebub, can't quite get it in. It's just bouncing around on this map. It's hard for anyone to get control over it. Daru manages for a second, but can't quite put it in. Great hook from IDC, keeps it going. Good pass from Snowball, and then from Syrupy right back. Can't do anything with it though, it hits all these blobs. Daru is in a great spot, and IDC can't find the angle. COYO get a very, very chaotic point, and they're up 2-1, looking to increase their lead in sets too.
That's a really scary position to be in, especially against a Juno in overtime, right? On top of that, right, the Super Surge on the Centauro means that he could be wherever he wants to be, especially, right, threatening you with the damage on top of that. So very, very good from the side of COYO, keeping calm and collective as he can be on that map in order to get it through. So Daru now very advantaged spot, has a flip to work with. Julak though a little bit worse for wear, and no evade, staggered. So the tail of 2 forwards going to be here right now. Dash comes through, some damage comes through for IDC, does get a barrier here for Daru. As now the size, a bit hard to strike war, unfortunately, to actually end the point. The Oni's blade is there, Julak is there, but unfortunately he's going to be KO'd away by the cyber swipe. Beelzebub with the Dubu, the Summer Assault, loses 1 barrier. Flip comes through for Snowball, self-pass. It's going to mean that Beelzebub's going to be on the defensive here. The Summer Assault finds its mark, but the piercing shot is going to be what finishes it off. The hot shot almost scores a goal in its own right. The pass up intercepted by Syrupy, who finds a slow roller angle. Beelzebub not there in time, and we are point number 5 here in set 3.
What an angle there from Syrup. He just managed to place it in there where Beelzebub couldn't reach it. And this really could just be the match deciding point here. I know that there's another set, but one more draft here could be so much, and Julak is already almost dead. He's blinking red, and they're just trying to keep the core around. Syrupy has the flip, and this looks like a good angle to use it. Gets it in there. There's the flip. Jumps forward. Can't quite put it in. Here's a red core from IDC. But it's saved. Great job by Beelzebub. Good blob there from Julak. Almost gets the barrier. Can't quite get there. And IDC again with this hot shot. Pendulum swing. Syrupy kills Beelzebub. They just need to get it up there now. Snowball gets it in there, but they don't get the actual angle. IDC doesn't get the pendulum swing either. And great defense from the forwards here keeps it alive long enough for Beelzebub to come back. But Snowball misses the flip. IDC passes it back up to Syrupy. Looking for this here. There's almost a kill onto Julak again. And the Crystal Thorns from Snowball pushes it right in the bottom corner. Great job by Eboy. And they're up 2-1. Two really close sets.
Syrupy, I think, saved the core accidentally with a glitch pop like twice. Yeah, but regardless, actually rewarded very heavily extra special or explosive entrance on the menu. Actually opts in for the prime time, which I guess, to be fair, you want to deny that from the Juno. Could potentially make them run away, but this is, I believe, a quadruple size Rasmus with power. Yeah, with Might of the Colossus, Powerhouse Pauldrons. I think this is going to be red cores with strikes in overtime, I believe. It wasn't already that. It certainly is now, so that's going to be
177 power.
Yeah, it's going to be rough. On the flip side, though, Julak only needs one spark to get red core of his own, even with with 1-2 still in the draft. So I think if COYO actually win this, Julak's going to be nigh impossible to deny in the upcoming draft, and that's going to be a very big advantage. And Daru doing good work, bringing them to that future.
Daru's doing a lot of work here. This double midfield from Eboy is very, very interesting. I feel like the passes are really looking good from them. Like that one, wow, great job. And another great job, IDC and Syrupy. That's just small outplays over and over from Eboy. Julak taken off the map, and Syrupy with a excellent cyber swipe just doesn't let Beelzebub do anything, and would have evaded it, but did not think it through, or maybe couldn't react.
Yeah, just a moment of hesitation. But speaking of that, immediately found again. This is a flip right in front of the net. Actually defended away though. This Rasmus is just so big, can cover so much space. It's gonna be hard to find anything to flip through it. Daru could have to play very defensive here. No HP, no stagger, no food, no shelter. Right now, gonna be sniped away from Alpha Centauri. He's gonna find himself KO'd by this Estelle. That being said, the defensive core of COYO is looking healthy and have flips to work with. So Eboy Entourage are gonna have to respect that. Daru's gonna come back. Snowball's gonna be the one evading though. But that being said, the core is back in time, actually allowing him to evade despite being staggered. Flip comes out from Julak to make this power play happen. It's gonna be up to Daru to convert though, but it's so hard to outstrike or this Rasmus. Good glitch pop from Syrupy, now delays the play entirely. Snowball's gonna be back up. The strike from IDC is there as well, and the defense now amazing, but the slime from Julak dimes Daru up, and he slaps it in, gets a point.
Wow, the MVP on that point, absolutely, for sure. Oh my gosh, it's such a volatile map. There's so much damage here because of the Stinger. Oh my goodness, Julak is dead again. Oh my goodness, so is Beelzebub. Snowball with the double kill here. Daru has a full flip, but will it be useful? Great job with the dash ends up using it to clear it out for the last second, but Syrupy is able to just run into the center and take it. Huge Amy tries to get a kill onto Daru, who can't quite manage it. These red cores are so scary, but...
Oh no.
Oh no. IDC.
Yeah. Oh, wait, the glitch pop actually I think buys just enough time for
I
IDC.
think you're right.
Yeah, for IDC to walk back and get the strike, and now it's back to neutral here. People are going to be fighting over the Baron Nashor power play, as it is going the way of Daru. Snowball, though, finds himself with possession of the core of the piercing shot. Knight not there to call out the Summer Assault. As overtime hits, this is going to be Red Strikes Rasmus. Not what you want to see from IDC, though, I think, and that's okay. Snowball finds it through, though. Almost finds an immediate goal, though, with the blink so close. Oh! Beelzebub, not what you want to see. The Tofu Fortress, unfortunately, blocking his own clear, and there's just 1 point that Eboy Entourage need this set in order to close it out.
Yeah, and they're kind of blessed here in that they did not get the, you know, bounce house, the fun house. They have a little bit of room to work here on Project Xeno, on these side streets, as you said. And they're doing a good job of it. This is a really good turret, good pressure, but Daru, with both of them very quickly again, has the flip, tries to kill Snowball with it, can't quite get them there. Syrupy still has flip though, and can jump out of the stealth and do some damage. Snowball is finally dead. IDC and Syrupy at midfield. The Tofu Fortress once again slows down the clear. Great job by Syrupy putting it behind it over and over. Snowball's back alive, but Syrupy is almost gone with the Juno on the field. Great! See, putting it back in. Snowball gets it up there. IDC hits it back to Snowball, and a great pendulum swing for the save again. Daru can't quite get it, but that doesn't matter. The angle on the side street puts it in the bottom corner. Daru gets to save his flip. Julok almost has flip too, and suddenly things are looking up for COYO.
Yeah, COYO able to get that up of a serendipitous bounce. As I think Julok going for a bit of an ambitious play here to get the double barrier, not going to work out, which means he's going to be down flipped. Daru almost critically getting KO'd there, but now has to deal with being staggered. Gonna have to blow that flip defensively and now walk away from this play. It's going to be up to Julok to maybe find something here. Doesn't do it. The Rasmus still too big to tussle with. The piercing shot comes through, not going to find it, but it's going to be Snowball actually knocked away. The Juno Slime finds the KO. IDC has all the size in the world, but she's not going to be big enough to deal with this. Now Zentaru able to find it. Daru, a critical play here. Dribble off the bottom side bumper, gets it into the top side. COYO still want to win. They still have a fighting chance, and Julok is going to be undeniable in the draft. The 1-2 is here.
2 is here. I guess you could argue Spark, but I mean it's 1-2. It's 1-2. Gotta be taking that here.
Wow.
No, it's Spark.
No?
It's leadership. Okay. It's leadership. I mean, maybe he still red cores off of that, off of the strength he gets from Spark of leadership.
He might actually.
He might. The prize fighter is a very feast or famine choice in a game this dangerous. But all the way down there, remember how I called Hotshot a pseudo team player for this Rasmus?
Yeah.
Well, he got team player. And also, Snowball took Among Titans, so he now has 186 power.
He hurts. That's a bit of a pendulum swing, right there.
Hurts.
Yep. Yeah. On top of that, he's also massive, right? I believe Erasmus Primary is going to take up half the map, and IDC's body is going to take up the other half. So it's a bit. I mean, look at that pendulum swing. He did it from his goal arc, and it hit in front of Beelzebub's goal arc. And right now, it's going to be up to Snowball, though, to finally get it. Actually, Daru finding a good blink forward, but it feels like IDC is Thanos right now.
Like it, but Thanos loses. I don't know, spoilers for Marvel, but he loses eventually. And he loses his extra life here as Daru puts the core in. suddenly COYO are looking really, really strong. This fighter flight for Rasmus is, I think, doing a lot with the mag souls instead of, oh my god. Holy moly. Yeah,
Not
instead of
crossover,
Slick.
I know, slick kicks.
The mags instead of Slick, he's missing that speed up on hit, but he just got it off fighter flight. And where'd Julak's help go?
I don't know. Oh, flip for flip traded. Actually, another flip as well. IDC able to win every interaction just with a whiplash because of the size. Snowball finds the core. Whoa! What's happening?
What's happening is Syrupy has 3 prize fighter stacks now, and Julak doesn't have any stacks anymore. That's what's happened. At least, you know, that's the big part, I think.
No, like, I mean, it's this one GIF I post where it's tra-la-lero, tra-la-la, and he just explodes. That's what happened. Boom. And right now, IDC exploding right now offensively. Able to get 1 barrier too. This is looking very scary for COYO all of a sudden.
It's looking pretty scary, but you've got Daru with this flip. Some room to work with. Snowball almost dies from it. Has to burn his own, but doesn't have much health left. And Singer Juno might have something to say about that. Oh my, this is Zentaro. Zentaro says, I'm gonna push you around and then steal your health orb. Stay hurt.
Yeah. Ooh, bit some nerves, maybe getting the better of players right now. A few whiff strikes though, but the game picks up as normal. Julak, a good strike. Gets that final barrier. Snowball actually pushed right in front of Beelzebub, but it won't matter. Syrupy not able to find a strike. The pass from Julak rings true, and even though the Eboy Entourage looks so advantaged, 1 point away from winning, they're now 1 point away from losing. COYO gonna be looking to end this point.
They're looking to end this point, but their barriers are already gone, which might be a little bit of an issue. The Tofu Fortress does come up and helps to save it, but IDC put the core almost in exactly the wrong spot there. Managed to keep it safe. They get it up to Snowball, but Julak with his aerials and Daru with the Super Surge, they're just anywhere they want to be on this map. And Daru puts it back up in the top corner, catches IDC looking with a great dash, puts it in, and COYO take his first game 3-2.
And it was looking bad for them, right? That explosion that happened on the top side of Beelzebub's net in, I believe, 0.2 or 3, felt like it spelled doom for the side of COYO, but they stayed calm and collected, actually. Well played to them. Absolutely had a mountain put in front of them in set 5, it feels like, and they climbed no problem. Which means that they're going to be advantaged here. And just looking at the stats, Daru 43k damage, I think is statistic, 9+1 as well. Absolutely monster performance, I think, coming out with Brawler for you.
That was a huge, huge game for Daru. Doing so much up there. Julak did so much as well. And Beelzebub held it down, actually. Both goalies almost 100 saves, 91 and 93. So much, like, so many defensive holds. And then, you know, a 5-set, almost as long as you can possibly be game. Like, I'm happy to have passed that one. I'm happy to see the next one, too. I think it's also important to think that that was COYO's map pick, and that's how close it was. But we'll be back on Ico very soon, and we'll see if Eboy can turn it around.
And we are back. Game 2 of the Eboy Entourage versus COYO. COYO now have 1 game under their belt, and they're going to be looking to close it out here in game number 2. Looking at the Awakenings, you got a fight or flight missile propulsion star, and again, just like game number 1, both forwards electing into one and both goalies electing into the other. This time, though, I think slight advantage goes to Eboy Entourage. I think that X-Era is incredibly strong at this level of play, and even though Era recently got hotfix nerfed, which I think made her kind of weak again, I think X-Era is still going to be something that can have a lot of scaling force, especially in this game.
Interesting. So you think that nerf was too much again for this
I don't know
era.
if it's too much. We'll see if it's too much, but it was definitely significant. I
It was
think.
definitely significant, that's for
Yeah.
sure. You could see it even there. Just coming out a little bit slower gives Beelzebub more time to react, more time to get that save. And eventually, Daru's able to push it all the way back to the other side and take the first barrier here for COYO.
Yeah, now it's going to be an open net for the side of Eboy Entourage. But before they get to that, they got to clear it first. And IDC able to do it, but not without losing her barrier. X comes through. The X Maximus follows as well. Punch comes through. Flip from Julak over to Daru. Good dribble off the bumper. It means that IDC is going to lose her flip. Now Snowball only forced to watch in horror here in the ensnare drums as the core goes back and forth for him. The X Maximus there, flip there, traded against Beelzebub. It's Snowball's patience pays in dividends. First point goes over to the Eboy Entourage.
So watching horror, but Snowball was not. Snowball was just always waiting to get in position for that dash, for that flip. Put it in very, very nicely, and with Beelzebub lacking energy, this could be a really good chance for Eboy Entourage to actually push forward and get these barriers. Beelzebub misses a strike there, ends up giving him on up. But a good defense from Syrupy saves this flip from Daru. IDC manages to push it away, and this time the Mako hits nothing, but Daru just steals the core right away from Syrupy, and IDC manages to put it in with that hook as well, and what a great 1v2 from Daru.
Damn, yeah, Daru able to get that there, and I think one thing as well is that if you are I'm Erasmus, you actually kind of need this set, right? This is X era we're dealing with, right? And you want to be first in draft to deny the size, to deny the cooldowns, to maybe nab a dash awakening for your Mako. And if you don't do that, then X era might outscale you, and that's a very scary thing to deal with. So, being tied up in your first set is a little bit of a scary position for COYO to be in this game. So, hoping to see if they keep it cool. And as of right now, they're looking amazing. Julak, despite the beam, able to get that cyber swipe through, hit stunning Syrupy before that he could react. So. They need to win the set, and they are on their way to do so.
Yeah, they're on their way to do so. Their teamwork is definitely improved since the very start of the first game. You can see it happening right in front of our eyes. They're going for plays together a little bit more. The Mako speed up, I think, is doing a lot for COYO, helping them really synchronize those moments where Daru is going to go in, but this time Daru just loses control of the core. A flip comes out of Snowball. What a dive. Julak vanishes. Snowball gets the second barrier. Here's a NATO setting up. Doesn't leave Beelzebub much room to clear it out, but it is eventually cleared, and Daru gets to respawn. But two barriers still up. Well, that's the same amount of players they still up. Snowball getting hit now. Daru almost manages to take that one. IDC manages to make a big save. Syrupy revives, and Snowball is just trying not to die. Can't quite manage it. Daru puts it away, gets the last barrier as well. That glitch pop almost set it up perfectly. Great play by IDC, and Syrupy almost runs straight over Beelzebub there. Enough time for Snowball to respawn, and they're just pushing relentlessly on this point, but off the bottom corner straight up to Daru. Unless you intercept that, there's no way it's getting stopped, and COYO look like they're kind of on a roll, actually.
Looking good coming out of this first set. And taking a look at draft, a couple of things I'm looking for, right? This aerial Samako probably going to have to be denied away from Syrupy, unless potentially he wants to be greedy and maybe go for the stacks on stacks, but it's actually not even being hovered right now, so potentially we'll see a bunch of interesting draft selections. Primetime going over the D, which I think is strong, another strong pickup, going to be stacks on stacks, and yeah, it is going to be taken away by the era here, and I think that's one win condition dealt with for... Oh wait, there was explosive entrance there the whole time.
There was an explosive entrance there the whole time.
Okay.
Didn't go for it. They wanted heavy. Wanted heavy impact. They wanted the cooldown reduction, I guess.
Yeah, maybe I don't deny from the X, maybe? I don't know. Keep in mind as well, right? Even if you didn't deny and you just click the heavy impacts on Era, heavy impacts, I was talking to Hook Resets about this. He thinks, right, obviously a very big Era player, he thinks that heavy impacts is one of Era's best awakenings.
Yeah, it's
Because,
great.
yeah, it's amazing. It gives you everything that you need, even gives you a little bit of damage to work with, you know, if you ever need that. But the cooldown is phenomenal on it, and you're always hitting two things. If you hit one thing, you count as the second, so it's very easy to proc it. So because of that, it's very good. But CRP not actually electing to do that, looking to deny the aerials, giving his team mobility, much needed mobility, by the way. As right now, Julak finds himself almost with a goal, and Daru not able to follow up. A little bit scary, but now it's going to be Snowball's time to shine, potentially. Era Beam comes through, reaction check for Beelzebub, unfortunately going to cost him his energy. Dubu Gamble comes through, it goes the way of IDC. As now Snowball has the flip, the log is there as well from the prime time. Serapi trying to get it into the hands of Snowball, but Daru's going to have an opportunity to end that play before it even starts. The glitch pop is there, the cyber swipe as well. I'm sorry, the firewall sentry is there as well. So now finally the cyber swipe does come through. Snowball, no energy to work with, trying to do something, needs a pass from CRP any moment now, but Daru finds the death touch on the core, uses that chord speed to sink it in. And I will say, I think old Era would have saved that. I think the beam was literally like a 0.1 seconds off.
It's very, very possible, but old Era, new Era, doesn't matter. Unfortunately, there's only the current Era that's playable in the game.
I know.
And it wasn't quite enough for Eboy. Huh? Was that the Era NATO? I think that was the Era NATO who killed Julak? I'm not entirely sure, but the end result is Julak dead, both barriers down for the side of COYO, Syrupy and IDC with these flips. This flip does not quite find the angle. Snowball is hurting up there. Gets flung all the way back, straight to the health pack. IDC moves up with their flip, looking to do something. Syrupy can't quite get it under control. Everyone is alive, including Daru, despite Syrupy's best efforts. Syrupy and Snowball in a good possession here. There's the NATO setup, but a great glitch pop just interrupts it, doesn't let the setup do anything. Snowball gets it flipped away at weird angle off the
Tycho!
Right back to Snowball who puts it in. That's a certified Tycho moment, you know? Break back.
Oh, I mean, that has to be like, that's an egregious one. Like, that. If that angle happened 2 seasons ago, we wouldn't have called it the Megaverse angle. We would have called it the Beelzebub angle, because that was disturbing. That was disturbing. I'm sorry. I'm still stun locked from that one, but well, Beelzebub. Yeah, I mean his head's in the game at least. So good on him for keeping calm, because I sure as heck wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't keep calm either. And the way I know that is that happened to me in that. Great job by Snowball and Syrupy clearing it out there, actually managing to dodge the Mako ultimate and stay alive. That shrink, I think, stopped the foreflip from Daru from hitting, and that Tofu Fortress might have saved Daru's life, actually. Flip from Syrupy just to get it out of there, but a really good primary from Beelzebub manages to put it all the way back in. IDC cannot save it, and Daru running around it, no help again in a great position. Gets the pass from Julak, and Julak is just finding angles now. He's threading this defense, and Daru's putting them into the net.
Yeah, like that was amazing. That was a crazy glitch pot pass, I think, from Julak. Yeah, I was very impressive, and it feels like COYO, you mentioned earlier, like just lacking this like synergy, but it really feels like they figured something out. They figured out like Daru seems to be in the right place at the right time a lot more than what luck would give. So it feels like Julak and Daru have figured out a system. Daru kind of naturally walking towards where he needs to be and immediately just capitalizing so well on IDC here in game number 2. It feels like it's a Daru and Julak world, and everyone else is just living in it.
Right now, it really does feel to me Like, Daru is just lurking on the side of Eboy almost the entire time, and Julak is just solo finding the ways to get these passes through. They're trusting Beelzebub to get these saves, and then Julak just finds a way to get it up there. Has to take the Monumentalist here, doesn't want to allow Syrupy that, and, you know, frankly, I agree. You do not want Monu era here. I think that's one of the things that could have really turned this game around, because Snowball and Syrupy are latching onto a side and trying to push it through, and the Era NATO getting that big might just have been enough to get them in. If that Era NATO was bigger, this barrier is gone.
Yeah, importantly though, this is do or die for the side of the Eboy Entourage. They're going to be here on series point, but this is set 3 Era X, right? Oh, and a good KO found. That means no prize fighter stack here, which means no scaling for the Era X, which could spell disaster for the entire series here.
Era X, but all I see is Era right now, and it's a real issue. Dubu here has spec training as well, so there's a possibility that IDC can donate some damage at midfield. Good NATO keeps it in, but Beelzebub finally burns the flip for the save. Look how far though that Tofu Fortress travels, but it just doesn't really seem to be having as much of an impact as Eboy Entourage need it to be having in the scenario that they're currently facing, which is just so much pressure from Julak. And Daru always, he's on top of this barrier. Look, he's just sitting there. He's open for the pass. He's open for the pass. And he doesn't get it there, but like, he's in the spot. He's in the spot. There he goes. Doesn't get the flip. Well, Beelzebub doesn't get the clear either, but you know, it's fine. One of these barriers is, never mind. Never mind. Never mind. You know, it's fine. It's fine. The barrier goes down. Oh, never mind. Snowball puts it right back in, and Eboy are really looking to bring this COYO train to a halt.
Yeah, good 2 strikes. Sometimes 2 strikes is all it takes, and Snowball was able to find him. But you know what he's not able to find right now, and that's prize fighter stacks, right? Spark scaling not here for him, which sucks, as Julak now finds himself in front of the net with flip. Wow. The abilities traded back and forth here for the goalie and forward, but this Mako in snare drums lives up to the name. IDC can only watch it horror as the core gets trapped right in front of her goalie line, or her goal line, and that's a point. Snowball still with a Dead Awakening, which that's the worst thing that could possibly happen when you are X Era. You need to get some power on the board right away, and if you don't, then well, you're basically just set 2x, and set 2x sucks.
Set 2x does suck. Couldn't quite get the kill there onto Daru, but that glitch pop almost kills Snowball as well. That primary from Beelzebub goes all the way down, puts it in. Syrupy really looking to make something happen solo, uses the flip, can't make it actually occur, but you know what? Maybe you just mind control it and you still get a barrier. How about that? You saved time, your X is back, he's alive, he's got no energy. And great energy burst there from Julak, manages to put it in. And again, these angles are just seem like they're really hard for the side of Eboy Entourage to deal with. Beelzebub with a flip off the bottom corner. Daru finds the rebound, puts it in the top, and we're on match point for COYO.
Yeah, I really feel like the Among Titans that Syrupy picked up is kind of biting him in the butt. He's forced to win a lot of strike wars in these plays, and even though you want that size on the X, you definitely want that size on both the X and the Dubu. It's making it really hard here for him to help on the defense. Like, look at that, right? The core is going around Syrupy. In a lot of these situations, the passes are not being blocked, and because of that, well, it's looking like kind of a wrap here for COYO.
Yeah, COYO is putting a lot of pressure. That's a good Era NATO, but you know, just a little bit small. Wonder why that is. Daru with a lot of pressure up here in the front, but Syrupy, that Era beam can just win strike wars, but then sometimes Era just vanishes. Daru hits a great dribble. Julak tries to read IDC's mind, can't do it, but Daru knows exactly where Julak is putting that core. Great hook, grabs it, puts it in the bottom corner, and after a really, really close first game on COYO's pick, COYO comes back and takes Taiko 3-0. 2-0 week for COYO.
It is really good from them. I really felt like in that game, especially towards the end, Julak and Daru just turned it on. They recognized, they started getting into each other's heads, knowing what they wanted, and that is the connection that you want between your forward and midfield. And I think, right, 100% goal participation from Daru and Julak in those situations, right? Or sorry, 100%. I did my math wrong. They're both at 7 goal participation.
They're both at 7.
Yeah. So both having a very large presence, right? Daru only scoring 2 goals that Julak were not a part of. So well played from that forward duo. Really felt like they were empowered, right? Beelzebub, obviously not Mako, going to contribute to that at any point that he wants to as well. And it just felt like they were the better team on the day. They were the ones that played the map better, and they were the ones that had the better team play coming into game number 2, and they take the series.
Yeah, there's not much else to say about it. Like, it's not that Eboy looked bad that first game. Again, it was so close. It really could have gone either way, but it really just felt like COYO took the momentum, took a deep breath, and went, okay, we can do this. And this game looked very, very clean. Beelzebub did a lot to affect the forward half as this Mako, and if you're playing strike shot missile prop Mako, that's what you're playing it for. And there was a few of those ults in the Eboy goal box that just made it completely impossible. Honestly, just really well played by them. Looking forward to seeing what these teams can do next week.
But that will be it, unless you have any parting thoughts, Cat Kupo.
I think I just gave my parting thoughts.
Yeah, that's true.
Play 100 line. How's that?
There you go. Wait, that was a game, right? Wait, was it?
Yeah.
難しい言葉などいらないと気づいたんだ